Let me speak my piece. It's for all my dogs, coming straight off the leash. She kill 'em all like the Reaper. I need a girl like MEKA. She jumping out the gym on all them hoes. Shorty came straight out the bleachers. Ayy, she the baddest. Ayy, that girl too bad. Ayy, she came through with the combo, cause shorty too lavish. Ayy, that girl she the baddest. Ayy, that girl too bad. Ayy, look, she came straight with the combo. Ayy, look, let me talk my talk. Let me speak my piece. It's for all my dogs, coming straight off the leash. She kill 'em all like the Reaper. I need a girl like MEKA. She jumping out the gym on all them hoes. Shorty came straight out the bleachers. Ayy, she the baddest. Ayy, that girl too bad. Ayy, she came through with the combo, cause shorty too lavish. Ayy, that girl she the baddest. Ayy, that girl too bad. Ayy, look, she came straight with the combo. Ayy, look, let me talk my talk. Let me speak my piece. It's for all my dogs, coming straight off the leash. She kill 'em all like the Reaper. I need a girl like MEKA. She jumping out the gym on all them hoes. Shorty came straight out the bleachers. Ayy, she the baddest. Ayy, that girl too bad. Ayy, she came through with the combo, cause shorty too lavish. Ayy, that girl she the baddest. Ayy, that girl too bad. Ayy, look, she came straight with the combo. Ayy, look, let me talk my talk. Let me speak my piece. It's for all my dogs, coming straight off the leash. She kill 'em all like the Reaper. I need a girl like MEKA. She jumping out the gym on all them hoes. Shorty came straight out the bleachers. Ayy, she the baddest. Ayy, that girl too bad. Ayy, she came through with the combo, cause shorty too lavish. Ayy, that girl she the baddest. Ayy, that girl too bad. Ayy, look, she came straight with the combo. Ayy, look, let me talk my talk. Let me speak my piece. It's for all my dogs, coming straight off the leash. She kill 'em all like the Reaper. I need a girl like MEKA. She jumping out the gym on all them hoes. Shorty came straight out the bleachers. Ayy, she the baddest. Ayy, that girl too bad. Ayy, she came through with the combo, cause shorty too lavish. Ayy, that girl she the baddest. Ayy, that girl too bad. Ayy, look, she came straight with the combo. Ayy, look, let me talk my talk. Let me speak my piece. It's for all my dogs, Hey, look, let me talk my talk. Let me speak my piece. It's for all my dogs. Coming straight off the leash. She kill 'em all like the Reaper. I need a girl like MEKA. She jumping out the gym on all them hoes. Shorty came straight out the bleachers. Hey, she the baddest. Hey, that girl too bad. Hey, she came through with the combo. Cause shorty too lavish. Hey, that girl she the baddest. Hey, that girl too bad. Hey, look, she came straight with the combo. Hey, look, let me talk my talk. Let me speak my piece. It's for all my dogs. Coming straight off the leash. She kill 'em all like the Reaper. I need a girl like MEKA. She jumping out the gym on all them hoes. Shorty came straight out the bleachers. Hey, she the baddest. Hey, that girl too bad. Hey, she came through with the combo. Cause shorty too lavish. Hey, that girl she the baddest. Hey, that girl too bad. Hey, look, she came straight with the combo. Hey, look, let me talk my talk. Let me speak my piece. It's for all my dogs. Coming straight off the leash. She kill 'em all like the Reaper. I need a girl like MEKA. She jumping out the gym on all them hoes. Shorty came straight out the bleachers. Hey, she the baddest. Hey, that girl too bad. Hey, she came.
Now, with the Diddy situation, I can't really hear myself, so I don't know if you can hear me. I need somebody to confirm. Okay, I'm good. All right. Now, with the Diddy situation, we know Diddy has been arrested. He has now been denied bail twice for obvious reasons. I mean, I just want to say, for anybody trying to say Diddy is not in danger of being a runner, he definitely is. Oh, okay. You didn't hear the Thankful Thursday thought, or did you all hear that? If not, we'll come back to it. Let me know. So with regard to Diddy, though, he's facing a minimum of 15 years, a maximum of life? Yeah, so doesn't sound too good for him. I would not want to be in his shoes right now. The other current event that I wanted to discuss, that's from beyond the DMV, but I wanted to discuss a very serious matter here in the DMV, and that is justice for Justin Robinson. If you haven't heard about him, he's a young man who was 26 years old. He was a violence interrupter, meaning he stopped violence. He tried to prevent violence, eliminate violence in our area. And he was found unresponsive by the police in his car on September 1st after the car had run into a McDonald's. That was the report. The police showed up. They were there for 30 minutes and he was unresponsive for that entire time. And when he did begin to come to, he had a gun in his lap the entire time, and the police ended up shooting and killing him. There's a lot of issues going on with, the police, as we always have had as an experience, not just as Black people, but as people, period. But definitely as Black people. So right now, the family of Justin Robinson is asking the Department of Justice to look into the matter. And we definitely want to show them support, because if you've seen the video, it's very difficult to watch, but it is definitely questionable situation as to whether or why another tactic couldn't have perhaps been utilized or looked into. But we'll touch back on that with my guests, both of those topics. So my first guest today is not only a musician, not only a drummer for the legendary Junkyard Band, he is an IT professional, which people would not necessarily know, I don't think. He is a very big inspiration online, in person, just as a person. And he is a very, very proud father. That is DC's Big Youngin. Welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm good.
Oh Lord, we don't want Diddy up on you. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Let's
don't.
put him back. Sorry about that. 1 second here. Let's see what's going on with my.
There we go. I hope
Oh,
it
there
was
you
there
go.
for a minute. There we go.
There you go. Welcome.
Welcome.
I'm glad to have you in the studio. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Native Washingtonian. Grew up east of the river.
Mm-hmm.
So for the most part, I've lived either northeast or southeast. Majority in southeast.
Mm-hmm.
Product of DC Public Schools.
Shout out to DC Public Schools.
Proud Eastern Rambler. Proud of Capitol Hill. Of course, I'm a musician.
Mm-hmm.
However, my passion is in technology. A lot of people are surprised by that, but
it is the wave
I
of the future.
I love drums. I love go-go music. I'm grateful for everything that it has done for me.
Right.
Financially, as far as experiences and friendships, bonds, things of that nature.
Right.
But my passion is, I never saw myself as being a drummer.
From the beginning.
Yeah, as only being a drummer as a profession. That was never my.
Well, that brings me to one of my questions, because one of my main questions is, what was the dream? What was the original dream?
I think the original dream, I don't know if it was one thing. Of course, the older you get, the more experiences you get, it kind of changes. At first, I think at one point I wanted to be a bus driver. At one point, I wanted to be a police officer. Of course, when you're younger, I believe, I came up in an era, and a lot of young people won't, it's aging myself, but, you didn't have a PC in your home. Like,
yeah,
you were introduced to PCs essentially at school. So, once I was introduced to the PC, and this is when they had floppy disk drives, 5 1/4.
Right.
Everything is just pixelated. It was, nothing like the technology of today. But once I was introduced to it, I was I've always been an inquisitive person. I've always been a person who's wants to know how things are wired, where it came from,
right?
Who invented it, which is really the strategy that made like subjects that people generally don't like history, interesting for me, because I always wanted to know like where would I have been. Right. And that's what helped me remember.
I feel like that all the time too.
Like, where would I have been? So I like to know how things are wired and things are put together. So I'm very observant. I always generally listen more than I speak. So
yeah, you're known as definitely a quiet observer, I would say. You definitely are. You have a big presence, which, so I understand, Big Youngin. But why do people call you Big Youngin? Where did Big Youngin come from?
I've had this nickname from a younger age, and it's always been attached to, I was always even a chubby kid.
Oh, okay.
But I've always had like a baby face.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess that's where the Big Youngin.
Okay.
More people call me BY now in my older days than Big Youngin. But
yeah, I like BY better too.
Yeah. I'll answer to either one.
Either one?
I mean, it's who I am. You don't get the one thing about nicknames, and I had to tell my youngest daughter that is you don't get to separate yourself from your nickname.
Once you got it, you got it.
Her nickname is Pootie. She tried several times in her life to detach herself from Pootie. She just maybe in the last 2 years told me that she's just gonna go ahead and just accept Pootie.
Accept it.
I'm gonna call you Pootie.
Shout out to my brother Vinny, who swears his name is Alvin now that he's grown. So give me your perspective on the Diddy situation, on the Justin Robinson situation. Have you heard about those? Of course.
We'll start with the Justin Robinson.
Yeah.
That's something that probably hits closer to home for
Definitely.
us. Especially as someone, that's another thing that I've done. So depending on what part of my life you've met me at, you probably met me as something else. Some people on stage, some people in IT worlds, some people in the community. Because I did work with the Peaceaholics for several years. So the thing with Justin Robinson kind of hits home because I understand the life of a violence interrupter. And those who do wraparound services and those who really get in the trenches with the young people who a lot of people just thrown away. So I understand what comes with that. I understand the dangers that come with that, but you would never have thought, that you're sitting unconscious,
right,
and you would lose your life.
Right.
A lot of people are going to say, well, why do you have a weapon? This. If you're not around the young people who are volatile, anybody who's worked in any type of violence intervention, it's like peeling back an onion. Like you have to go through several layers of dysfunction, several layers of neglect, several layers of abuse, several layers of
to get to what you're really dealing with.
To get to what you're really dealing with. And then sometimes, whether it's right or wrong, I think in this particular position, he didn't pose a threat to anybody. So that's the main piece. But I know a lot of people will probably try to deflect to him having a weapon in the first place.
Well, here's my problem. I have to say, here's my problem with the whole thing. He had a weapon. Yes. Why did he have a weapon? We can't ask him. That's the problem I have with it. Having a weapon is not a murder sentence. It's not a death penalty sentence. Having a weapon, whether it was registered, not registered, we can't ask any of these questions to him. You know what I mean? We can't ask what the intent was, where he got it. We can't ask even what happened. How did he end up running into the McDonald's? And just generally speaking, let's say he was just sleeping, which people don't generally do at McDonald's after a crash, right? But if he's sleeping in the car, even when you're sleeping and someone wakes you up just yelling at you, right? Even if they're right beside you, you're startled. You're still in a haze. You're not wide awake immediately. You know what I mean? So to me, that's the most disconcerting part about the whole thing is that once death happens, you can't take that back. I
think at this particular juncture, I think the one thing that we should prioritize or focus on is actually getting to the truth.
Yes.
That's going to be the only thing that we have moving forward, and hope, the only thing that we can hope for, because again, you can't ask Justin.
Exactly.
You can't bring him back.
Yeah.
The only thing you can ask for, one, is the truth, and two, accountability.
Exactly. So, yeah. So with that being said, we'll wait. Quick touch on Diddy before we move on. We'll move on quickly though.
You'll find in a lot of questions you ask me, my position is going to always be similar. As far as Diddy, of course he's been accused of some heinous things.
Yeah.
I did get a chance to read through the indictment. I've only read through it once. I usually like to read through at least 3 times, even when I listen to music.
Right.
At least 3 times before I form an opinion. But just based on what I've seen and what was listed, there's a lot that needs to be proven. One thing that I don't like that we do as especially in the Black community is all we have to do is hear it on social media or hear it. Are parts of it true? Likely. Some of it, but prosecutors, they reach high.
Right, exactly.
Because the part with the trafficking, that would have to imply that you were taken against your will or you were coerced in some sort of way. But who doesn't want to hang out with Diddy? And if it happened.
Wait, I have the answer. Cassie doesn't want to hang out with Diddy. Don Richard doesn't want to hang out with Diddy.
They didn't want to hang out with Diddy.
They don't want to hang out with Diddy.
Whatever they experienced.
Wait, hold on. Cat Williams don't want to hang out with Diddy. You got to say no when Diddy asks you to party.
But this is my thing, though. Even with the stuff that Cat Williams is accusing him of, and again, I'm not.
He didn't say anything.
I just want the people to know that, one, I'm not minimizing the perspective of an abuser.
Right.
I mean, those who've been abused.
Right.
I'm not discounting or discrediting what they're saying as being true or not true. We don't know yet.
Right.
But I'm always going to think of things like, because one thing that needs to be protected, again, we need to get to the truth.
Yeah.
We need to get to justice or accountability.
Mm-hmm.
And one important thing, especially for Black people in this country, is due process.
Yeah.
So I'm going to always just ask these questions. I'm just saying what I believe that the prosecution has to prove.
Right.
And again, what were some of the trade-offs of that people just kind of accepted certain things,
right,
in hopes of gaining certain things.
But I was about to say, isn't that part of the case?
I mean, but when you go to like the most serious, I think one of the most serious of the charges is like racketeering.
Well, yeah.
So you're saying that like it's because let's be honest. I mean, again, I'm not discrediting anything, but like,
go ahead.
Being a freak is not a crime. Even having events where people are freaky,
that's true. That's
not
true.
A crime. So
that's
him
true.
having everyone's outraged.
That's true.
Again, I can understand 1,000 bottles of baby oil, but
right.
It's not against the law.
Not 1,000. Correction. Over 1,000.
All right.
Okay.
Okay. I don't understand.
And not just baby oil, lubricants.
But if you have to think to we thinking from our perspective.
Right.
Think of everything that's probably a part of his life is probably exponentially bigger than things that we experience. So if we have a little, freaky episode, we look at it as being way bigger. But like if you're a billionaire and you're around a whole bunch of millionaires and things of that, it doesn't seem like it's something that probably normally happens. Now, if a crime has occurred, and something that, then of course he should be held accountable for that. But like just because he had, freak offs, which I'm tired of even hearing the word. Like just
that word is annoying.
Like that's not like the smoking bullet to okay, if he's somebody who ordered, like I don't even know where you buy 1,000 bottles of baby oil. But like if he ordered
Amazon
over 1,000 bottles of baby oil and lubricant, like you know what I'm saying? Clearly this was something that he did regularly. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And again, I'm gonna always play, not necessarily play devil's advocate, but I'm always look at things
from all angles,
all sides. It's like I purchased toilet paper. I have toilet paper like Diddy has.
Would you like to confess something to us? Huh? Oh, that's because of COVID.
No, I'm just saying.
That's because of the panorama.
Before COVID, I was like that. Like you're never gonna come to my house and not see a boatload of paper towels and toilet paper. It's just not gonna happen. So what I would like to see is like due process. Let's get down to what really happened. Yeah. That was illegal and have him be accountable for that. But it's something about this court of public opinion that, of course, in this case, that's why I believe that the Cassie video was leaked. Because she's not able to testify. Right. And it makes it gives, in some people's eyes, it gives validation to the people who came after she filed.
I want to have my other guests kind of jump in here. So I'm going to introduce my other guests, but we're going to go back to you. Mm-hmm. So let me just, I guess I should come back on camera. So I'm going to introduce, before we do that, we're going to break up the monotony. We're going to play a game. Are you ready for my games?
Okay.
You're prepared for my games?
Let's see.
All right. Okay. So the first game that we're going to play is Name That Tune. If I can find there we go. Name That Tune will be the first one.
Unmute.
Okay, so name that song. So my first question for Name That Song. Are you ready?
Let's go.
Would you like to join in? Are you listening, other guests? Or did he leave? I think he left. All right. So there's this guy that I know, right? He's good to go. And he's known for having fun. Now, what name would you think he goes by?
There's a guy that's good to go.
Mm-hmm. He's known for having fun.
Heavy one.
Good answer. Good answer. Wait, hold on.
I had to actually say the entire verse in my head.
That's well, I was gonna let you read the card next because I didn't know if that would give it for you.
I should know that one.
Exactly. You have to know that one. That one was special for you, I have to say. But I'm glad the other guest isn't in here because I'm going to ask him that question too. Okay. So we can see if he has it. All right. Now, next question. If you see a big old girl getting busy, you know, just kind of rocking to like a go-go beat, what dance is she probably doing?
Say it one more time.
So, if you see a big old girl getting busy, just, you know, rocking to a go-go beat.
She's doing the butt.
Good answer. She's definitely doing the butt. All right. Okay. Now, my next question, my last one. All right. So, when I told my mama that like people were out having fun, where did she suggest I go and what did she suggest that I do?
Go to the go-go and do your dance too.
Sardines. Well, if you got that wrong, you would have had to leave.
Yeah, I'd probably get kicked out of the band.
Okay. All right. So thank you for playing. All right. Now, so what song holds the most meaning for you in your life and why?
Song. I think I posted it the other day. It's from probably, in my opinion, the greatest band outside of Junkyards, the greatest band on earth.
And who is that?
Time. That would be Earth, Wind and Fire.
Yes.
And one song that always, you know, I have plenty of favorites, but The Way of the World is probably my favorite.
Love that.
I could listen to that song over and over again and probably take me from here to Florida on the road. And it just reminds me of a time where it's one of those songs that's you know, it's timeless.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, that song was created, you know, in the 70s. And yet most of the lyrics are still you know,
very pertinent
today.
Yeah.
And relatable today.
Yeah.
And it's just one of those songs that kind of, you know, despite what's going on, like, you understand this is just the way of the world. You have to figure out, you know, how you'll navigate it. And of course, you know, along with the melodies and the different rhythms and things of that nature, just, you know, clear your mind and you can actually think a little clearer and get out of whatever emotional space that you're in.
That's wow, definitely. And so why is that your favorite song again? Because it clears because of that?
Yeah, because it like I'm first thing that captures me is the music. First thing is always the beat.
Yeah.
But then the music. And then it's sometimes years before I know what the lyrics really are.
Seriously?
And I'll listen to the lyrics. I listen to the lyrics last.
Oh wow.
And I guess that's just a musician in me.
Yeah.
And you know, fun fact is that some songs, even the Junkyard plays, that I've been listening to for years, and I'm just finding out what they're saying.
So that means you deserve extra applause for doing so well at Name That Tune. Then of all the games,
can't mess those classics up. Like
well,
that.
The way I say them, I don't know. It depends on where you're.
I've heard it. You know, this year marks the 25th year that I've been affiliated with Junkyard. I started the journey with Junkyard and between October and November of 1999.
Wow.
And
how did that begin?
It began before that. I was actually a student at Norfolk State University and on a music scholarship. So I was in the band. So, you know, you go away from here and you used to go being a part of your everyday life.
Right.
We kind of, you know, we weren't getting enough of it. I mean, bands would come down occasionally, but we were used to going to the go-go like several days, nights out of the week.
Right.
So it just wasn't enough for us, especially as musicians. So we formed a band.
Okay.
Mainly as a hobby at first, but, you know, we were actually practicing and then we started sounding like a little something. And then we started doing shows. for the people from DC that either went to Norfolk State, Hampton, or Old Domain University. So, and it kind of grabbed some heat. I mean, it wasn't like we were the big band here or anything, but we did pretty good. And so by default, we became the opening band for bands when they came down. So we had an opportunity to play with Backyard, Junkyard, Northeast Groovers. And that's when I was discovered by Junkyard, was at a show. And they got my number then. This was a time when, at the time, Dre Dog, or aka Chink Santana, was a drummer, but they kind of got a sense that he was heating up. And it was like, how much time he was putting into the studio production and things of that nature. They were like, it could be any day. So maybe about 2 years later, this was in like 96.
So tell me something. That's one of my questions here. What do you think has lended itself to the staying power of Junkyard? Why have they stayed so relevant as well as so popular and, together on top of that?
Well, they've had, different phases and different challenges where the band is split. They were in different factions and things of that nature. I think everybody knows that.
Right.
But I think the thing that keeps Junkyard relevant is their attachment to the people. And their resolve to entertain people, no matter whether it's 50 people or 50,000 people. You don't get the same energy, no matter whether you have $20,000 in the bank or you spent your last $20 to get in. Everybody's a JY star at the show, and I think people connect to that. And even in today's go-go environment, where it's definitely, I don't want to say evolved, it's changed a lot since the golden era, which I consider to be the 90s,
right,
mid 90s. A lot of it has changed.
Shout out to 95.
Yeah, for sure. A lot has changed. What Junkyard pretty much presents, the reason why we're able to stay relevant is when you come to a Junkyard show, it's one of the few places you can go and still get an authentic go-go experience.
Oh, that's so
like
true.
You come in, a lot of people have criticized, well, some people have the craziest reasons why they don't come to see Junkyard. They don't like.
What's the craziest reason you've heard?
They don't like how the crowd dresses. People come to see Junk, they dress because they know they're about to party. They didn't come here to be cute. So they're not wearing heels and red bottoms and things of that nature, because it's not because they can't get it. It's just, why would I do that? Sweat all of that out. And most of the footage that you see of our shows, you actually see people moving. That's not always the case in everybody else's. And I'm not saying that,
and it's not saying they don't have it either. It's just saying that's not what they chose to wear. Functionality.
I wouldn't. It's almost like, do you get dressed up to go to the gym? No.
Right.
Why? Because you about to sweat.
Stacey Adams don't go in the gym. I'm just saying. So, okay, another question for you. Everybody knows you as Big Youngin, but who was Little Youngin? Like, who were you as a little kid that nobody knew about?
I was always the guy, again, that wanted to know how things were wired. I was always inquiring. I was always an honor roll student. I had perfect attendance from time I entered public school to the time I graduated. I went to the last day every year, and that's just because I love learning. I love school. Personality-wise, I was always a risk taker.
Okay.
I'm probably the risk taker in my family. Most of my family were always, not to say they didn't get into things, but for the most part, they wouldn't take the chances that I would take. Some good, some not so good over the years, but I'm probably going to be the one that takes a chance, because my approach is always, if I'm going to be wrong, then I'm going to be all the way wrong.
Yeah.
So it's not, you'll never be able to say he was kind of wrong on that.
Right.
Because I make a decision, I commit to that decision. And of course, when I come to the decision, that whole process is trying to make an informed decision.
Right.
But once I make the decision, I commit to the decision, and then I execute. If I'm wrong, then I have no problem coming back and correcting. But I think the thing that has gotten me to this point, even in my professional career in IT, being someone who came from east of the river and came from northeast and southeast,
right,
and at the level of senior leadership in a lot of places, is because of that. Like I don't have a fear of failure. I think failure is a part of the recipe.
Right.
I I know it's cliche for people to say, but
No, it's so
I
true
really
though.
embrace. I don't want it. I don't want to fail, but I really embrace. I think it's a part of my DNA. It's a part of my success. It's a part of my story, and it makes me fearless because it's like I'm not afraid to be wrong.
Right. It's like say la vie,
Right,
like the
exactly.
Thursday thought of the day.
Exactly,
Such is
exactly.
life. Yeah. So, okay. So, what is the best advice that you've ever received? And who was it from, if you recall?
The best advice, oh, see, so many. I'm gonna say one that has stuck with me,
Mhm.
and again, it's helped me to be fearless,
Mhm.
which helps me to take bigger chances and helps me to get farther. Was from a gentleman by the name of James Bevel. He was the lead strategist for the civil rights movement. Of course, we know Dr. King's being a visionary, but he
Right.
had to have people who actually organized the movements
Right.
and got the people on board after he gave the amazing speech. And he was a really low key person, but he was very, very effective. And we'll talk later about that, like some of the things he's done. There's just so
Yeah.
much, it's enough to cover a whole
Yeah,
show.
you have to tell me
But
further about
what
that.
he told me was, when you do the right thing
Right.
for the right reason,
Uh-huh.
you get the right outcome. The right outcome will produce the right income. So I don't, my relationship with money is different. I don't covet the actual dollar or the actual note.
Right.
I covet more my ability to get it. The
Yeah.
different streams of the ways to get it. That's which means that lies in here. This is way more precious than money. Because
Yeah.
again, if you do the right thing for the right reason, you get the right outcome. The right outcome is going to produce the right income.
You better say that. That was a good word. I hope y'all took a note if you didn't hear that. Okay, please rewind and play back. Okay. So tell me, when is the time that you can share that life really just lifed on you? Life's on us all. That's the one thing we can be guaranteed. And when it does, sometimes, unfortunately, we can all take different weights, but sometimes inevitably you feel the need to play possum, or you feel like you want to just stop, like hit the pause button, time out, whatever it may be, kind of stop living and just kind of exist for a minute, maybe. And how did you keep yourself from falling into that rut or staying in that rut if you did fall into it for a moment?
And this is probably the first time I've ever spoken publicly about any of this, but in the last 3.5 years, I've suffered losses as far as family members transitioning. Some make more sense than others.
Don't you hate that?
And yeah, it's people who I've always had a tight knit family. We were never large. We never had a whole lot, but we were there for each other.
Right.
We are there for each other. I still say,
Amen.
because we're still here.
Yeah.
But when you start seeing people who were in your mind since you were little, like giants, start to transition, start to age, or depending on how they pass, you see a decline in a sense. Like it's really hard to watch.
Right.
Because
Definitely.
again, these are people who made a way out of no way for you. These are people who are a huge part of who you are.
Right.
Collectively. So my aunts, and then my little cousin, my grandfather, my last surviving grandparent. So now I'm
that's hard.
grandparentless. So if anybody, you still have your grandparents around,
give them a call.
Give them a call.
Maybe even a visit if you can.
Yeah, if you can. But so what I had to do was, because I'm a person who understands the cycle of life. I understand that in order for there to be life, there has to be death.
Yeah.
If nobody ever died, we'd be trying to hold on to the edge of trying not to fall into the ocean. And
exactly.
So in order for even from a space perspective, in order for there to be life, there has to be death. And I understand this, that one day, we start expiring
the second we're born.
So one day, I understand that fully, but it doesn't make it hurt any less.
No.
And I just had to settle in to the mode of this is the season of transition. Like even and some people knock people when celebrities that you grew up on and starting to pass. And they, some people get online and say, you don't even know them. It's like, doesn't matter. Like, you know what I mean? Like Michael Jackson is not here. Like,
rest in
Michael
peace,
Jackson,
Frankie Beverly.
Frankie Beverly.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You start to see a lot of people that you revered or you admired or you were inspired by start to transition. And it's like one thing that I learned, because I spent a lot of time with myself, is that, one, I understand that it's a part of life. But more importantly, I started looking for the lesson.
How about that?
Like what am I supposed to get out of this?
Right.
As opposed to, why am I feeling this way? I know why. That's the easiest question. You know why you're heartbroken.
Right.
You know why you're sad, because you won't be able to physically see this person. But like,
right.
When I think back on their lives,
what did they offer to me? What did they give me?
I have a lifetime of experiences and lessons and things that I can take and pass along to them.
I love that. I love that, definitely. So now, on a lighter note, that's a great inspiration, though, and a way to look at things. But so who introduced you to go-go? And what was the first go-go you ever went to? And who was the first person you ever introduced to go-go?
I'm going to have to say that the person who introduced me to go-go was my mother. She actually had the vinyl to the Rare Essence album, the one at the Metro Club that has probably the most cranking one-on-one of all time from the Metro Club. And then she also had one from Celebrity Hall, which is the Black Hole. And she also had Go-Go Mickey's album.
Oh, wow.
A lot of people don't even know that Go-Go Mickey actually did an album. So that was my first time hearing. Music has always been in my house, but that was my first time hearing go-go. My first time experiencing go-go was at school. The side-by-side band, which is the Metropolitan Police Department band. They're still active today, but that was a lot of our first actual interaction, up close experience outside of maybe an outside show, which was probably the second time, which I saw Junkyard and the side-by-side band. And this was, I was living in Northeast around Paradise.
Wow, what a full circle moment.
And I remember seeing them and I'm like, how are they doing this? They don't even have instruments. Like, what are they about to do? Because when you saw the side-by-side band, they had all the latest instruments, things of that nature. It was like, what are they about to do? And they cranked so hard that me and a group of my friends, we went to their houses there now, but it used to be woods. And went and found like refrigerator boxes, anything we could find. And we were banned for probably about a week. But I never forget from that moment, just me seeing Heavy One play those drums. And of course, when I went to junior high school, they're like, what instrument you want to play? I said,
give me them drums.
First, so those are the first probably two go-go's. I consider those to be go-go's. I can't remember like club wise what my first go-go was. It probably was in a recreation center or something, but let me think, who did I introduce?
Yeah, who did you introduce? And what did you play for them? Who did you introduce to go-go and what did you play?
I can tell you the second part first. It probably was Junkyard.
Okay.
Shout out to my sister who bought me a Junkyard tape. Because for some reason my mother didn't buy me a PA tape. Like, but you had the albums, right? But anyway, my sister got it from somewhere. I'm not sure. She bought it. She got it from somebody, but it was a Junkyard, and I played that until it popped.
Oh wow!
So I probably played them Junkyard, but I honestly can't remember who was the first person I introduced to go-go.
But shout out to Junkyard for being the ones that
that
you couldn't keep to yourself.
In a million years that I would be sitting on that seat.
So speaking of that seat and that success, can you share the most notable success moment for you in your journey, in your life, basically? Outside of parents, outside of parenthood.
Okay.
Yeah.
Probably making the Eastern High School marching band, blue and white marching machine.
That's not a little feat.
It was interesting,
Mm-hmm.
and this is why I embrace failure so much, is because it's everything that I every win that I had,
Mm-hmm.
it seemed like it came after some sort of failure. So I went.
That's what happened.
Yeah, I went to Carter G. Woodson Junior High School. We weren't known for marching band.
Right.
We could read, we could play good.
Okay.
So we were good musicians.
You do realize reading is a big step in itself. Okay.
Yeah, but we didn't come from the powerhouse junior high schools that were kind of feeders to the bigger high school bands like, Friendship and Shaw and Hine and things of that nature. Like, we didn't come from Evans, things of that nature. We didn't come from, a known junior high school marching band program. So I went, and of course I tried out, and I was cut.
Oh.
I was cut. So, they cut me, and I know, I wasn't the greatest. I don't know if I was the worst, but at any rate, I didn't make it, right? Because Easton had a standard that was like collegiate almost. And,
but you came back and tried again.
No, the thing is, I never stopped coming to rehearsal.
Oh.
And I did so much because, the first big performance once you join the band is homecoming.
Yeah.
So I kept going to the rehearsal, with no, reward even in place. Like everyone else is working, so they'll be ready for homecoming. I'm just going just to go. Right. Because I was already cut.
Right.
But I just wanted. I don't like to fail. So I'm like, okay. And what happened was the day before homecoming. I was, of course, in rehearsal. And the band director got up, and he brought in pieces of a drum. Oh, so it was, he had spoken with the section leaders. I'm not sure who they spoke with. They were so inspired by me continuing to come to rehearsal, right? That they essentially took scraps. They took their own money, went up to Drums Unlimited and got heads, and they created me a drum. Oh, from scrap parts. And
that's so
homecoming,
dope.
I was able to come when they opened that door in that tunnel. That's the best feeling in the world. If anybody who's ever experienced that. And so, so I, inevitably failed, but then on the other side of that, if you just keep going, you'll make it.
All right. So now, thank you. I appreciate your story. I appreciate your time. You're not free to go or anything, but so we're going to play another game. But first, I want to thank everybody for tuning in, and I want to do a quick break to give a shout out to our sponsor of the show. Sorry we got started late. I was locked out of the studio. We'll fuss at Super Dan later for that, but let's give a shout out to the sponsor for our show. If you have not already gotten your tickets, we have the adult prom coming up. So get your dresses, get your dates, you don't have to have a date really. Get your, outfits, put it on, because it's going to be at the Omni Shore Hotel. Now here's a little view.
When I walk through, I got sauce too. Came with the gang, chopper rain, get a up, shine. When I walk through,
come in here too. I think I'm gonna you could come in here. Yeah. Okay, so welcome back. That's our promo for the prom. I hope you all are going to be joining us. Let us know what you're going to be wearing. Hey, Alicia, thanks for tuning in. So let us know what you're going to be wearing, who you're going to be bringing, what we can be looking forward to. I'm going to give you all an insight on my dress shopping because I think I'll be out, trying on some things this week. Stay tuned. Our next game, though, and I'd like to bring in my next guest. So we'll start off with our game, though. Our game is going to be When I Visit DC.
Welcome to DC.
that Go Make It album was.
Oh yeah, that joint's
album.
mean.
Yeah.
All right.
People don't talk about that album.
So now we are going to introduce our next guest. Oh, I do want to wait. I'm sorry. Before I introduce my next guest, I also want to give a shout out. We're doing a new segment, which is a spotlight to DC, a DC DMV artist. Or, well, you know what? You don't have to be a DMV artist, but of course, that's a plus. So send me any videos or any audios that you have to MEKA at lavishconversations.com, or you can DM me with them. If you DM me, I might not get them because I think most people in my DMs are catfish. No shade. But so yeah, send them to my email though, and that would be great. And we can go ahead and get you lined up. We'll select a new artist every week, and I'll just kind of play a little snippet and give you the chance to give your input. So we're going to do, as I said, the new artist spotlight of the week. And so our new artist spotlight is his name is YP, and this is a little sample here. Can y'all hear this one?
It's not.
Oh, it is.
Yeah. As far back as I could think, being solid was a part of me. No Nicky, but my nigga, do you ride to me? Honestly, I only fuck with most of you niggas, that's only partially. Brick bills, so feel free to throw rocks at me. Wisdom over wealth is my philosophy. Nobody can box with me. Try and get beaten to coloscopies. I'm the king, obviously. That's why these imposters, they closely watching me. Soaking up the game so they can try and come and copy me. Give me all my M's, and by my M's, I mean apostrophes. Gangsters, we don't talk, it don't take many words to spark a beef. Step on the game with monster feet. Perpetuate your rock to sleep. Won't let nobody sign me, cause I heard they always doctor feed. There's power in the pussy. Most time it overpowers me, but God give me the strength, and with this strength I see the prophecy. Swagger super sick, but there's no hospital to doctor me. Won't stop till the whole family properly. Smoke broccoli, whoa. Yeah. I ain't even gonna lie to y'all. Can't do that. I ain't pay for this beat. 100 gang shit. But this drop was so hard. I had to let it play through. Yeah. Flower. I tell them brand new car that parks for me. Whole city that rocks for me. Woke up in the bedroom that looked just like Earth Gotti sweet. Bad bitch with a throat that lets her swallow me properly. Diamond dancing like slush to go make all your hoes follow me. Would tell the kids to not to smoke, but that would be hypocrisy. Told them that hip hop was dead. I told them put hip hop on me. Turn hip hop into my cross and took my cross to Calvary. And now I'm giving faith to all those Thomases that doubted me. Whoa, I'm on my king shit. VVS diamonds with the ruby and the ring shit. Royal penis is clean shit. Godson in the Hellcat followed by 6 demons with a she-devil and Prada showing cleavage. Faith is the proof of things not seen and I have seen it. Money super dirty but always pull up the cleanest. Ballin' on these niggas, 09 Kobe Bean shit. No man, no other God that you known have ever seen this. Please believe this. Oh yeah, YP shit. DC shit.
All right, so let me know your thoughts. That is our DMV spotlight of the week. Again, YP, hope you enjoyed it. Rewind back. Sorry, I couldn't hear our audio in the studio. Sorry for that. Apparently Hector needs a girlfriend. Good luck, Hector. Shout out to you. And if you are interested in being Hector's girlfriend, he has put his number in the chat. So feel free to reach out. All right, or just say hi. You know what? Send him a message of positivity. Feel free. Okay, so now our next game is going to be dun, 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 dun.
Welcome to DC. You know it's got at the USA.
All right, so we're back. Now, this first location, you won't see a goat, you won't see a cow, but this is the best known farm around town. Anyone?
I know, but I'm gonna say this.
Welcome to DMV.
Started my video again. All right, so let's see. Our new guest says that he has the answer. So I guess I'll start off with my introduction for our new guest. So our new guest is, well, hold up, wait, where's your introduction? That's not you either. That's not anything about you. Okay, well, I'll just tell you who he is. I had a nice write-up for him, but nonetheless, my next guest used to play for a go-go band, of course. That is where his roots started. He's born and raised in the DMV area. He is a former felon, now a reformed activist, a fighter against recidivism, which is returning back to jail once you've been in there, or prison rather. He's definitely a proponent of change and inspiration, and now an author who is educating people through his experience. He's giving a bit of insight to, some of his experiences, but also the lessons that he's learned through those experiences, and some things that might help you from making the wrong turns that he made, but making more of the right turns that he's made as well. So his name is Ray Breezy Williams, but he's now just Raymond Williams.
How you doing?
Hi, Raymond.
I'm all right.
So what's the answer to my question? You won't see a goat, you won't see a cow, but this is the best known farm around town.
Hey, I gotta go with the Big Bad Berry Farms. I wanted to
Shout
live
out
with the
to
Big
Berry
Youngin,
Farms.
that's their home statement right there.
She's made all these questions easy.
Shout out to the farms, definitely. All right, so now my next question. Let's go back to me here. All right. So my next question, on Minnesota Avenue, there's a really nice park. But if you stop past today, you might just have to ask what's going on. Anybody hitting their buzzer?
I mean,
Ding, ding, ding.
it's only one park on there, and it's for DuPont.
No, that's not it. There's another park.
Minnesota
Marvin Gaye.
Park.
What you say? Marvin Gaye Park is right there on Minnesota Avenue. I was going to say by the Wendy's, but I didn't want to give it away. If I say about a Wendy's, you would know exactly where I was talking about.
It became Marvin Gaye Park like in 2000 something. So I probably wouldn't have gotten that.
But shout out to
shout out
Marvin Gaye Park.
Yeah,
I'm saying they have that nice mural of them.
Yeah.
Me and my kids did a cleanup project there before. We should definitely do more over there. Okay, so another question.
Is it on Minnesota Avenue or is it on Nanny Hill and Burroughs?
It's on Minnesota Avenue.
Uh-huh.
It's more on Minnesota Avenue than Nanny Hill and Burroughs. You don't think so?
It could be.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll see. What were you going to say, Ray?
Oh, no, I wasn't going to say for DuPont. It's crazy, though, because my family reunion is there every year.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but we were just there in July.
Okay.
But I was like, when you said what's going on, I'm like, okay.
Oh, yeah, I didn't catch that.
That was a,
See? Okay, so last one. So in the DMV, it's the tallest building around. It kind of resembles a pen, a pencil, or a crayon. Go ahead.
The monument, the Washington Monument.
Ding, 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 ding. Good answer. Yes, the monument. Okay. So as I've introduced my next guest, I do want to play a little snippet because I told you he's an author. So I want to give you a little bit of insight to his story. All of the names have been changed in his story. So things have been, redacted to protect the innocent and the maybe not so innocent, but innocent now, All right. So let's see.
To protect the identities.
That's right.
Disclaimer, please do it. One of my homies wound up getting knocked off, so now I gotta find another plug. I ran into my man T-Top. Actually, somebody connected me with him. But anyway, I like the way T-Top conducted business. He wasn't a hot box. He wasn't one of these bitch-ass show-and-tell-ass niggas. You dig what I'm saying? He was young like us, but he carried himself like an old head, like we all did. At the time, I was lead talker for a go-go band called Alternate Sound Band from out in Maryland. We used to play at a spot called El Tropicals every Thursday night, right off Route 1 out Alexandria. But on this particular Thursday night, My brother was there that night, my little brother Casino. And close to the end of the show, he let me know that MEKA got shot. She was with our crew, and she got shot at the stash spot, our Woodbridge Apartments, off Route 1 out Woodbridge, right by the Eastern Motors where you turn in. Well, it was quite clear we was going to the mattresses, so we had to go get our pistols, and we was going to head over to the stash spot later on that night. Going to the mattresses meant you was going to a secret location with just nothing but mattresses and your pistols. You were going to stay there until the problem got solved. You wasn't going home or nothing. But what happened is, they said it was a strange guy. Said he had a package for MEKA. MEKA opened the door. When she opened the door, she got pistol whipped. Then it
So welcome back. That was a quick snippet from Just Call Me Ray, written by Ray Williams, who is in studio right now. So tell us a little bit about where you're from. What made you write your book? What was the best part about where you grew up?
disclaimer, please do it. One of my homies wound up getting knocked off, so now I gotta find another.
Sorry about that. Okay, continue.
I was born in Washington, D.C. Later uptown when I was born, and for a while I was a little kid, and then moved to Forestville, Maryland.
Shout out to Forestville.
Yeah, very notorious neighborhood, Forest Creek.
I lived around there.
And then later on, I moved to VA, so I've experienced the DMV. Literally experienced it. And a lot of it was a culture shock. But what made me write a book is because it's you want the real story. Right?
Yeah, we want the real.
I was working this job. This is probably about 2 years ago. And a dude on the job started, he started, acting like he's gonna play with me, calling me all types of niggas, putting his hands on me. I don't play that nigga word.
Yeah.
Like, if you don't look like me, don't use that word with me, because I don't have no choice but that not be that. I don't want to be that.
Right.
And no matter how good I am as a black man and anything, they gonna always look at me as a nigga.
Yeah.
So when you outside of your race and you playing with me, what I'm gonna say to you is you're not gonna trade your life with mine.
Right.
Because you don't, I don't like culture vultures or whatever. So he put his hands on me. You know what I'm saying? So I had to do something to him. And I didn't get fired from the job.
Right.
But it made me think that, you know what? Why was you willing to go far like that? Because you could have lost your job.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's
true. Yeah.
And I wasn't trying to act like I was the toughest dude. And sometimes it ain't about being the toughest or the strongest. But some people are willing to go further than others. Yeah. And that's dangerous.
Yeah.
I could have been killed. I could have been killed in that situation. It was knives drawn, everything.
Well, yeah, that and a scary person will kill you before.
That's
a brave
what I'm talking
person.
about.
Yeah.
And there's things I did as well. You know what I'm saying? But however, I almost wound up going back to jail behind it. But and he tried to press charges and all of that. But they knew he put his hands on me first.
But how did this make you write the book?
This what made me write the book.
Yeah.
I started analyzing my life. I'm like, damn, why am I always beefing?
Right.
What's going on? So I had to look at my life. And then I looked at everything from when I was young all the way up. I was like, damn, you been through a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like I done had two attempts on my life.
Wait, why are we stuck here?
Go
ahead. You had two attempts on your life?
2 attempts on my life.
Okay.
I've had a pistol put to the back of my head when I was 10 years old, man. I ain't never forgot how that shit felt.
At 10 years old, how do you cope, or how is that handled? Like after that happens, nowadays we're such strong proponents about mental health care and all of those things. At 10 years old, I mean, as an adult, I'm sure that's a traumatic experience. I'm sure that qualifies in the textbook. How do you come back from that? What happens after that?
Well, it was just a crazy situation because it was during a robbery of my mother. I was 10, my brother was 4. He witnessed it too. He felt the steel.
Right.
You know what I mean? Over on we was out Livingston Road, and my mother got robbed at an ATM machine. And I saw that. We tried to get out of the car and help my mother. We 4 years old.
Right.
10 and 4.
Yeah.
And we got laid on the ground, had pistols to the back of our heads, all of this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it used to bother me But then I took it like, I ain't gonna let nobody take nothing from me no more.
So
even if I gotta die to keep whatever it is, whether it's my respect, whether it's a material possession,
right,
or whether it's my dignity, I'm not letting nobody take nothing from me no more. And that's how I started, looking at things.
Yeah.
And that's very dangerous.
Yeah.
Because if you take that type of thinking, you ain't gonna be able to keep everybody from taking nothing from you.
That's true.
They
That's
might take your life before you put up resistance for them to take something from you.
Right.
Sometimes you gotta take that L and walk away.
Yeah.
So when that thing happened with me beefing with the dude and all of that, I had to really look at my life and be like, Ray, man, you wasn't wrong with what you did because of what you did it for, but at the same time, you wasn't using your head.
Right.
You could have got killed yourself.
Yeah.
The dude you could have lost your job at the time.
Yeah.
Thank God for the guy that hired me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because he could have let me go behind that, but he seen what that was all about.
Okay.
But
yeah, thank God. We don't always.
Right. So when I sat down, I wrote a book, and I'm thinking, I'm like, damn. And I looked at everything in my life, being who I was. I was like, man, you got a hell of a book. And everybody got a story, man.
Right. That's what the biggest thing about my show is everybody has a story.
Got a story.
But what is your story and how do you handle it? Right.
Right.
That's what determines that's what makes the difference. Those decisions you make in those moments, because like you said, you had been experiencing this for quite some time, but then you had to make a conscious choice, a conscious decision. But ultimately that timing was up to you. You know what I'm saying? Because you could have learned that lesson sooner. I'm sure you had other experiences where you could have, made the switch. But so tell me, as you know, we talk on my show about why existing is not enough. And, oftentimes, well, not oftentimes, no matter who you are, life is going to life on you at some point in time. And when it does, what you do or how you handle it makes the world of difference, literally. So my question for you is, can you tell us of a time? I mean, I'm sure you've had more than one because I feel like they happen multiple times throughout your life, but a time you can share with us that was pinnacle where life lifed on you and you felt like you did just want to play possum or give up, not necessarily kill yourself in the literal sense, but I mean, just like stop. You know what I mean? What time and how did you keep yourself pressing forward from there?
I say this when I was locked up and I came home and I wasn't gone long, but I wasn't gone like just some days or a month and all that. But the point that I'm saying is I seen a lot of people who was one way towards me when I was in the activities I was involved in.
Right.
And then they changed on me. It's almost like, like how the women say now, I want a dude that got a career. But them same women, you couldn't get next to them women if you wasn't slinging no rocks or nothing like that.
That's a very good perspective to include.
It was almost like people around me changed when my situation went, how I went.
Right.
They couldn't benefit from me, I guess, anymore. Or, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. I got a real, a real dose of reality.
How about that?
You know what I mean? Yeah. And to be honest, and I needed that because I'm gonna tell you, when you hit them streets and you getting your own money, man, that joint can make you feel like you just on top of the world. It's like you feel like Mike Tyson, you invincible. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. And I think that happens to so many people. But I think it's really pertinent that what you said about how during that time frame, as you were growing up, the time that you would have been focusing on creating this career and all this stuff like that, it's crazy that during that time, we all know, baby, please, you work for UPS. We all know that line, right? Yeah. Whereas UPS is a great career. And like, if you started with UPS as a teenager, imagine what type of career, you could have by the time you're, say, 20 something. However, during that time frame, if you fall victim to this, which is still happening now, this whole chase for the glitz and glamour, everybody wants to be rich, but nobody wants to work for it or have a process to get to that level. So with your having that experience and with you growing up in such a kind of tumultuous experience in the DMV, during that era, you did grow up during what era would you call it? And nothing but it, right?
We moved from Full Street, got to 2 people that I went to school, they got killed. It was some paid in full type shit. You know what I mean?
I used to live around, I actually lived right in front of Forest Creek when I was 4 years old, right?
Right.
4 years old. I mean, I lived there again as an adult, but at 4 years old, and I still remember every single night you would hear the ambulance. Every single night. Like at 4 years old, you know what I'm saying? And that's PG County. It's not like we were in the heart of DC, in the heart of the city or anything like that. But it definitely was a traumatic experience just growing up during the crack epidemic. So I can only imagine how kids these days in the fentanyl era, you know, are experiencing life and kind of, you know, growing from there. What advice would you give to kids these days that are in the midst of that?
The thing I tell kids is, first of all, understand your dream. Don't be afraid to tell your dream. Don't be afraid to pursue your dream, you know. And if you have adults around you that that can help you with your dream, listen to what they say. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes advice is a good thing. Don't you know, sit and get mad if somebody trying to give you some type of advice and some game and some wisdom.
Yeah, that's absolutely true.
But the one thing I would tell, and this is serious with all kids, understand that times are different now.
Yeah,
you got kids now, they can put up a reaction video of an old 90s hip-hop video and get checks from YouTube.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's so true.
It's a lot of avenues out there. And to all youngins that's doing right, stay on your man time. And I tell every youngin that when I go to the store to get gas with, I tell all them youngins I'm proud of them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because they not taking that crazy route.
Right, exactly.
And I think it's important that they hear that.
Yeah,
you know
definitely.
What I'm saying? Because if they out there doing something simple, adults gonna say a bunch of stuff about them. So congratulate them when they doing right.
Right, that's the absolute truth. And you know what's crazy about that? It's that, like you said, they have so many hustles now that you could do so legally. Whereas you could be a hustler still. You know, that's no issue. You don't have to worry about that at all. But it's so many easy legal ways to do it that it would just be a disservice to yourself in the first place to think you had to go that route, you know?
And hustling ain't and another thing, hustle ain't a bad word unless you ain't got none.
Yes, I love that.
See, the thing is, the problem with our society, you know, in the 80s, 90s, hustle was a bad word. Now you got all these big conglomerates, they using the same slang, but you was wrong for saying the same thing.
Right, how about that?
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely.
So I don't like that.
So how did you feel when you found out, or what was your first thought when you found out you were going to be a dad?
I was scared as shit. I was scared, man. I was scared, and I didn't want a boy because every man in my family has been incarcerated. Man, I was going to prison when I was 4 years old. You know what I'm saying? I was going to prison one of my first prison visits was with an uncle of mine, and my dad took me, and my whole family went. This is when they used to have family days at prison. This how long ago? That was 1979.
Wow.
You know, I learned a lot. A lot got programmed during that time. I'm seeing these big scary guys.
Yeah.
And they coming up to my uncle going to their table, talking to their family talking to our family. Hey, that's the first time I saw what male solidarity was.
Yeah.
Although I was, and not just that visit, but as I got older, because we was going all the time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
So how do you think that impacted you? So, because I've seen people, I mean, I'm sure you've heard of people who, when someone gets arrested, say the dad goes to jail or the brother, whoever goes to jail, and they don't take the kids to the jail, or they don't. I've heard of also people in jail who don't want their children to come. How did you think what do you think are the pros and cons of that?
I think the pros of it is kids can see where they don't want to go.
Okay. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like when I went to, I'm gonna give you an example of something. When I went to go see one of my uncles at one of those family things, and my aunt will tell you, look her up on Facebook. Shout out to my aunt Joanne.
Shout out Aunt Joanne.
Aunt JoJo. But she was at the visit, and during that time they had family. It was family day. Like I saw my first boxing match there because they had the boxing program there.
Oh wow!
And I was into boxing after that. Then I started getting into it, try to buy all that. But the point that I'm making is, she would always tell me, she told me you wasn't scared to be there, and all the inmates was like, hi, he ain't even scared to be here. They was talking about that,
right?
But the thing is, I didn't know no better,
right?
You know
exactly.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now let me fast forward to when I was jammed up. When my daughter came to visit me, my daughter had to look at me through a TV.
Right.
I couldn't touch my daughter.
Yeah.
I couldn't say nothing to my. I mean, I could talk to her, but I couldn't touch my daughter. And my daughter was 16, 17 years old at the time.
Right.
So she vividly remembered it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I can't, to interact. This barbaric, you ask me. You tell somebody go visit their family and they got to sit in front of a TV to see you.
Yeah, that's wild. But do you think also, as horrible as that is, yeah, I was about to say, do you think that could be like as horrible as that is, the experience of now where you have to see somebody, through a TV or talk to them on the little phone thing or through the plexiglass and stuff like that? Do you think that it's more of a cautionary experience though? Do you think it's more like, I don't want to be on punishment?
Yeah, I think it's one of them things where kids can look at that. Like I said, the first experience I talked about while being young, and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I didn't say I didn't want to go there. I ain't say I wanted to go there.
Right.
But
you didn't think it was that horrible though.
I just, and as I got older, then I started to understand.
Yeah.
But when you, like I said, when you got to look at your loved one through a TV, you can't touch them. It's something about that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I done been to family members' funerals, and some of my family members, my uncles, they shackled up coming to the funeral.
Right.
You gotta see your brother get buried and then go home, go back to jail,
or your mom
shackled up,
and
you done seen your family.
Yeah,
that's crazy. And I remember those things.
Yeah,
I ain't forgot those things.
Yeah, that's the trauma that we speak about.
You know what I'm saying? And I was a little kid. You know what I'm saying?
That is horrible. I'm sorry. So now we're gonna play another game real quick to lighten things up just a little bit. Okay. All right. Okay. So
we'll keep it serious, though.
We're gonna jump right back. We're gonna jump right back to the serious, but we're gonna jump to a quick game real quick. That's our segue. All right. So our last game. This is our final game for the day too. It is called. You heard of Call of Duty before?
Yeah, but I don't.
No, you don't. It's not like Call of Duty. You just heard of Call of Duty. Yeah. It's called Daddy Duty. All right, so for Daddy Duty, my first question for you is, all right, I take my son out, right? I take my son out. He's 6'5". He has a mustache, right? But he's only 14.
Right.
Okay. And while we're out axe throwing, okay? And so while we're out axe throwing, there's these girls like hitting on him, right?
Right.
But they're not like 14, 15-year-old girls. They're like young ladies, like adults. They're older ages. Like they're like, let's say they look like they're like at least, I might be able to order a drink in a couple of weeks if I can't order a drink today. Okay. So they're trying to talk to him and they're trying to kind of get him to come over, like to talk to them or whatever. What would you do? How would you carry it? What's your advice to me?
Axe throwing, right?
Yeah, I'm axe throwing with my son. So what do I do?
What you can do is keep him away from them women getting his attention. Because one thing about it, and this is no disrespect to women or nothing like that, but sometimes a woman could be a distraction to you. And when you're doing something like axe throwing, I would take it. If you're using the axe, it's a dangerous piece of equipment.
That's true.
Keep his blinders on. Don't pay no attention to that right there, because if you pay attention, you might hit something you're not supposed to hit with the axe, or you're not focused.
Right. I love that because in life, period, we all know, or many of us anyway are familiar with men or women who have been distracted by, those little distractions of the opposite sex, and you get pulled off your task, and
right.
It's all downhill from there. Okay. So our next question is, all right, you ready? It is,
talk to me.
I take my child to Walmart you're not going to Target for the first time.
Right.
You'll understand why as I go further into the question. They come out of the store. My child is only 15 too, right? Or 14, but 6'5" still, right? My child is 14, 6'5". My child comes running out of the store, and I see like loss prevention, the police coming behind them, like, and they're like attacking them. They're talking about, I mean, they haven't touched them yet, but they're like verbally attacking them. They're like, you know, you stole something. Right. Oh, and my kid forgot to get the receipt, of course, because they 15.
Right.
Yeah.
What do you do?
What do I do? In that moment, what do I do?
Hey,
you're on the phone with me.
Hey, look. Hey, okay. Hey, look here, baby. Look,
wait, let me start over. Hold on. Let me set it up. Hold on. Oh my God. I'm seeing little sisters that is coming out the store right now. They chasing him. Oh my God. They talking about he stole something. What do I do?
Hey, look, sweetheart. First of all, what you gotta do, you gotta calm down, get yourself together. Number one. Number two, you the parent. They can't do nothing with him without you, no way.
Okay,
because he's underage. So the thing is, whatever they do with him, you make sure you go with him. He ain't gotta answer nothing.
Okay. All right. Okay. What if they touch him?
No, they can't touch. They not supposed to be touching.
They're not
them.
Supposed to be, but
they haven't proven that they found nothing, right?
How many times they supposed to be not, and they
did, yeah.
But you're right. They're not supposed to do anything. And yes, stay with your child and make sure your children know that.
That's the most you can do, and let them know they don't have to answer nothing without you being present.
Yeah, and not just in that instance, this period. Like, make sure your kids are aware that you don't have to answer questions.
Exactly.
And you are underage, you're a minor. You do not wish to answer any questions.
Right.
Okay. One more question. All right. So my daughter walks in. She's 12. And she's on the phone talking about her little new boyfriend. Right. She's not supposed to have a boyfriend though. Right. She's 12. But I overheard the conversation. As a dad, how do I approach the situation?
You gotta sit down and talk to her, but you gotta be real strategic about it.
Okay.
Because the way you react might be the difference of whether you find out anything else about your daughter, whether she'll be comfortable to come to you. Now, she's not gonna tell you everything.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you have to. I mean, as a father, we don't want to think about nobody dating our daughters.
Right.
I mean, me personally, I want my daughter to get married. My daughter's almost, in the, the other side of 20.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Going, on the side closer to 30. But she's a grown woman. But as a kid, you don't want to think about no dude being in your daughter's face. You know what I mean? And you don't want to think about your daughter trying to be in no dude's face. Like,
that's even worse almost, right?
Have a certain type of understanding with it, to a point where you can sit down and talk to her, articulate. Don't make her afraid of you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because if you make her afraid of you, she ain't telling you nothing ever, no nothing, this, that.
Yeah.
Best thing you could do is you can give her some game and have her prepared to how to deal with things. You understand what I'm saying?
I love that. Yeah. I definitely love that approach. Shout out to the dads. Yeah. The moms try to give them the game, but they don't always take it right away from the mom.
They when it comes to these dudes, you know what I'm saying? These dudes vicious out here. These little girls vicious too out here.
Oh yeah, these children are vicious at this point.
Bones, what's up, brother?
Shout out to everybody checking in. All right, so now that we're talking about daddy duties, that brought me to tell us about your dad.
Well, my father, man, my father was a cold dude. Real shit, and I don't ever want nobody to think that my father is a bad dude or nothing, but he just wasn't no sucker. Like he ain't played. Like if you go to Alexandria, ask about him and ask about that 70s era, my dad name gonna come up. Like my father is not a game.
Period.
But my father took care of me and my brother. He showed us how to be men.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like
that's even more important.
He showed us how to be men. Yeah. And to be for real with you, I seen him be a powerful dude with people. Like I just seen him like be in certain situations, and I'm like, damn. Like I just seen my father go in the rooms with a group of dudes and
exert his authority.
Not even exert, but like they not stop, but he controlled the path.
Right.
He controlled the pace of the conversation, everything, because the respect that he had. And a lot of that got to do with, you know what I'm saying, that him, basically what he stood for.
Right.
He stood on a certain type of principle. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And his principle was going to be his family. Not just me and my brother and my mother, but his mother and my uncles and all them.
That's important.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, that's definitely important. I mean, you can't, if you don't stand for something, we all know what, you'll fall for anything. So that's
right.
important. You have to have what your principles are,
Right.
and you have to have your boundaries as
Right.
well, and set them in stone. Now, as a dad, what is the biggest, I want to say lesson, but the biggest personality trait, I guess, that you would say that you imparted on your child? What's the most you thing about your child?
I used to sit my daughter down and tell her to count money
Mm-hmm.
by herself.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if she learned how to count money by herself. And I'm not saying that to say I was some super rich guy.
Right,
like
yeah.
that. But what I'm saying is she was learning how to count at a very early age, you know, count money. And I always instilled in her, it's cool to work, but realize you can work for yourself.
That's always a good thing.
And I wanted to instill that at a very early age, because when we was coming up, you know, especially in our community as blacks, man, we were just, our parents was happy to go work with somebody. Like I used to go with my grandma. My grandma was a domestic worker. She used to clean a white woman's house.
Oh, wow. Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's how I learned that my life is different from theirs.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I had that talk before.
And I'm cool with that, but I'm just saying, it was like, why did my grandmother have to clean up after somebody else?
Right.
Not putting that as a bad thing on my grandmother.
Right.
But I'm just saying, why can't we have our own? Why can't somebody clean up for us?
Right. Now, if that's her passion, that's something different.
Yeah.
But I feel what you're saying. You're saying, like, why couldn't she pursue her passions instead of having to take care of somebody else's situation? It was different
that early time. And then when they got older, it was still different, you know, especially for minorities.
Yeah, of course. Definitely.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, you can name, I could talk to probably anybody in my age group and their grandparents, and a lot of them going to tell you that their grandmother was domestic workers. And I'm not putting, just to let everybody know, I'm not saying nothing wrong with domestic work, but there was a time in America where blacks, that was where you supposed to work, because America said your ass supposed to work there.
Yeah, that's so true.
You know what I'm just saying?
And they said that was the only place you could work.
Right.
So right now, speaking of that, when you hear, you know, we have our political campaign going on and everything. I'm actually, if anybody knows of a Democratic representative that would like to come on this show, please let me know. I have a Republican representative that I'm going to have on the show. So I kind of want to, you know, represent both sides. Not at the same time, of course, but please inbox me and let me know, or, you know, reply in the comments and let me know. But what are your thoughts on what's going on in the political race? And not only that, the way that people are kind of microwave doing their research as opposed to actually looking into the politics and the policies behind the candidates.
Number one, it's this thing with politics is so broad, because like, number one, the way I feel about Donald Trump, you know, he said a lot of crazy things, but my whole thing with Donald Trump is this man ain't got a lick of political experience, and he was able to be president of the United States. But here it is, it's certain buildings that I can't go in because I got a felony. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or better yet, he ain't got no experience being, you know, president, or no type of political experience.
Right.
But if I want to go to a regular job, I gotta have some type of experience. But this man got the keys to run the whole country. Yeah. Now, when it comes to Kamala, you know, I have nothing against her running. Right. You know, but at the same time, I see how the media is taking down the narrative, making it a thing of women against men and all of that. You know, bringing up, like, trying to recreate a feminist movement. Right. And then a lot of our black women following, and they don't even understand the feminist movement wasn't even based on you, for real.
That's a very
It's based on that white woman who's with the white husband who got all the power. You're black. You never had power.
Well, wait, with you saying that, right? Do you think that maybe the perspective or the motive in making it more of a, like, feminist movement is because of the fact that the feminist movement is white women, and that is how Trump was elected into the presidential office? We lost the election based on, you know, the statistics to the votes of Caucasian women. So maybe that's why they're using that for that avenue, because they already assume
it
that
could,
the other things are covered.
It could, but the thing about that whole thing, you know, that feminist movement been around for a while, and you know, way before the you know, this presidential campaign. So this presidential campaign is just another way that they can imply it without saying it's a feminist movement, which I'm not saying. And let me just say this for the record: I'm not saying Kamala should not run or she shouldn't even be president.
Right.
What I'm saying is, you hear how the media now is turning everything into a woman's
us against
power, like, and it's crazy. And the crazy thing about it is, it hurt the Black community because we got problems between our men and our women. We don't get along.
Yeah.
So who gonna suffer right there? Us. You know what I'm saying?
Why do you think that Black women and Black men traditionally, why do you think we don't get along? Like now, I don't mean from the past. We know this roots to slavery. We already know that the separation and things of that nature. However, currently, why do you think that it's so easy to awaken that in us and trigger that man against woman type of situation, especially in the Black community?
First of all, you know, when it comes to social, you know, situations, first of all, as a man, you see, this is the thing. This is what people gotta understand. As men, we expect it. If a burning building is burning, if it's men and women, the man gotta stay in there and burn. I'm not saying nothing against that.
I don't know, because my sister-in-law is a firefighter, so I can't agree.
Right? No, I got you.
You better get the water and something down.
You know, when it comes to chivalry, you know, there's certain expectations of us that we got. You know what I mean? That they put on us as men. You know what I'm saying? The Titanic, the men had to stay on the ship and drown. Okay. Now, I'm not saying anything is wrong with that as far as being a man and the relationship of what a man represents or whatever. Right. But what I'm saying is, it's easy to take that and for the world to take stuff like that and make it a situation where a man is just supposed to be just powerless and just supposed to be nothing, you know, when at the end of the day, we're heads of households.
But don't you think that Black women big up Black men, or you don't think that Black women I'm not saying every Black woman, of course, but I'm saying more than anybody else in society, I feel like Black women are always ready to big up a Black man. Don't let you see a Black man with a child. I think it might not even be his.
I think, to be honest, I think our Black women do be behind us. Most of them. Right. Yeah. But the problem is, if you look at the artistry and everything that go on in our community, right? Like the stuff they show on TV, the stuff, the videos, like right now, right? They showing like all the little girls that's rapping, little Black girls, right? Yeah. You can't be with me if you ain't got no money, this and that. But then the little boys, they stupid because all they doing is rapping. Oh, well, if you can be with me, baby, I'm gonna buy you everything. He ain't shit because he ain't got no money. Oh, they getting raised to be some tricks out here instead of being a man. See, let me tell you something about being a man and the problem with our men now. Our problem with our men now, they make a woman their whole motivation. You hear a man get a job, or I got a new job, watch how many women I pull. I get a car, watch how many women I pull. Now, why can't it be watch I get this new job, now I could take care of my child better? Or watch me get this job and get a better car, so now I can get to my job on time without it breaking down. Because guess what? When the right woman hear what you stand for the right reason, the right woman gonna deal with you. Yeah. But if you sitting there talking that, oh, when I get this car, I'm gonna get all the bras, guess who's gonna get you? The gold diggers. And I don't feel sorry for no dude going through that neither. Yeah, yeah. Because if a woman gonna get it, go get it. You dumb enough to put your hand out, that's on you. And all that tricking, it ain't tricking if you got it. Shit, some women go to you, hey, you won't have it.
He said, talk your stuff, nephew. Oh, it's not.
You know what I'm saying? And that's real.
Hey, Virginia. So, yeah. Okay. So I feel you on that. Definitely. I feel you wholeheartedly. And people, that's not just a man thing, though. That's a woman thing as well. Like, people, that's what I was saying earlier. People need to keep their focus. Your focus should be you. That's why self-love is so important to me, because literally you can't love anybody else until you show yourself that love.
Let me ask you a question as a woman. A man try and drive his car in front of you, yeah, or pull out all his paper. That ain't gonna impress you. But if he's sitting there conversating with you, yeah, you know, I'm trying to get my kids back. You know, I'm gonna try to put that would impress you more.
Yeah, I definitely require a conversation.
That man stand on a certain principle.
Yeah, and I'm kind of turned off by the flashy thing. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I like you to have money. I don't like you to wear all your money though. Now you can wear it if you have the
pull out the bank cards. Everybody,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I'm gonna tell you, I know some dudes. If that woman get with you, they gonna take your money.
Yeah,
I didn't dealt with a woman before. Do you want to buy a drink? The drinks coming to my damn table. And I didn't feel insecure about it.
Yeah, how about that?
Because I've been around a certain type of lifestyle I've experienced before with a woman putting money in my hand. I'm gonna leave that alone. You know what I'm saying? I don't classify myself as that because I know guys that are that and they lost their life in that lane. Yeah. So I would never dare disrespect their lifestyle.
Right.
But I see how, you know, I see certain things. I can go to a strip club and have a normal conversation with a woman that's butt ass naked, where the next man is sit there, all this and
salivating.
All this, just salivating.
Yeah.
Because I done been around certain things.
Self-control means a lot, though. Right. You know what I mean? Because if you don't have control of yourself, who does?
Yeah.
who really does?
What's up, Shauna Mo?
So tell me what else people are going to learn about you in your book. Where can they find it? When should they start looking for it? All that good stuff. I know you have snippets out already.
Right now, I got the first 2 episodes, and what I'm going to do, I'm releasing it like a series, so you can go on TikTok. I'm giving y'all that free.
I love that.
You know what I'm saying? Because what's going on now, and what I didn't know, my little brother, shout out Casino, my little brother, he retired from a certain type of lifestyle after 20-something years.
Shout out.
And, you know, we got a whole lot of footage. We got video tapes from 30, like us.
Yeah.
From 30, 20-something years ago. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So now them documentaries, movies, and all that's coming. So the thing is, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give away, because I wasn't gonna give away the book at first, but I'm just gonna use the book as you know, a foundation to lay down the history of. Because when you start seeing these documentaries and you know, hopefully we're looking at trying to do movies and everything, when you see those things come out, you're gonna kind of be able to connect certain dots.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely.
And the thing about it is, you know, so I was like, well, let me go ahead and give it out. You know what I'm saying? So we working on you know, we working on our own thing, me and my brother. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And what's your TikTok where they can find the first episode 1 and 2?
Yeah, just call me Ray, number 4. Just call me Ray. Just put JUS. Call me Ray, CALME, Ray, number 4. And also be on the lookout. We part of a media group now, New Wheel Media Group.
Awesome.
So
Okay.
our project's gonna be on New Wheel Media Group.
Oh,
so there's a lot of products that's gonna come. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And guess what?
What?
We ain't letting Hollywood dictate us like they did Daddy.
I love that. But hopefully I'm not doing the same thing. Speaking of which, you didn't give us your input on Diddy. What was your take on the Diddy situation?
Diddy, his situation, man. First of all, you know, I don't approve of if he did everything they saying. I don't approve. I already don't approve of the way he beat that girl.
Seriously.
You know what I'm saying?
That was ridiculous.
But the thing that bothered me, and this the problem with American media.
Yeah.
American media like to sell propaganda.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, they do.
And part of that propaganda with big I'm about to say Big. I'm sorry, RP to Biggie.
Yeah.
But part of the propaganda with Diddy, and they've been throwing this word around a lot, pimping. He ain't pimping shit.
No, that's
he's
not.
A cold. Hey, look, let me tell you, what that man was doing, that's not pimping. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he might be a janky junkie CEO caveman because he want to drag one by the head on.
In my opinion, a pimp first and foremost could be broke and not have $1 in his pocket, and he could still get people to do what he wants them to do. I don't think people were doing what they did for Diddy because he was just Sean Combs.
He got strong.
It was definitely,
he got strong on.
Yeah.
See, with a pimp, that you know, a woman gonna want to do what she want because she love you. She mess with you like that. Y'all got some type of goal and y'all gonna reach it together. You know what I'm saying? Between, you know, because when it come down to it, you know, here's the thing. And I'm gonna say this, and I don't want nobody to look at me a certain way, but you got people who we use people every day. Everybody using somebody every day.
Okay, now
but
Nick
the problem is when you start misusing people.
Amen. That's a good one. Okay. I like that. I really like that, because the fact of the matter is everybody should be, just like they say iron sharpens iron. So if you're iron, I should be useful to you by sharpening you, just like you should be sharpening me. I do like that. That's very good. But then when you start misusing people,
you misusing. You know what I'm saying? So my thing is with the whole media, stop putting that pimp label on them, and then you want to connect. They want to connect to the human trafficking. Human trafficking is something totally different. You know what I'm saying? And the crazy thing, which y'all better understand about that, when they talking that pimp stuff, they always talking that when it involves a black man. You know what I'm saying? Understand that. They like to take things and they're like, man, let me tell y'all, racism exists still in this country.
Oh, and it's very blatant.
I'm not saying that they shouldn't be in Diddy shit. Nah, be in his shit, but leave that pimp word out of that shit, because ain't shit he doing pimping.
Yeah.
That shit, I don't know what the hell he doing.
Yeah.
That shit he doing, like I said, he ain't no pimp. He a goddamn janky caveman CEO.
Yeah, how about that? I don't know if he's the CEO either. I don't know what I would call that.
Like if you a dude out here, you cheating on your woman and you got a bunch of bras, motherfucker. Oh, he a pimp. No, you ain't no pimp. You a cheating motherfucker. Right. You know what I'm saying? That's what you are.
Especially if you got to lie about it in the first place.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
A pimp wouldn't be lying, right?
You
don't have to lie about nothing.
Lie about nothing.
Yeah, I didn't think so. Hey, Tasia, shout out to Tasia. Tasia said definitely a lot of users out there. Yeah, we have. It's a rampant disease out here in America and beyond, unfortunately. But the fact is, we have to remember not to be okay with being used. You know, let them use you. Let the Lord use you. You know what I'm saying? Right. We're just a vessel. And just like the sun, we're shining, and we're shining on people that we don't even intend to. Right. And that's okay, because my blessings, I want my cup to overflow so much that it pours over onto you, whether I mean for it to or not. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. Use all that's pouring off of me, but don't misuse, like you said. Don't misuse.
Yeah, and not only that, because when person use you use y'all use each other. Y'all try to come up together.
Yeah.
But when stuff start getting unfair and turn into misuse, that's when there's going to be a problem.
Yeah, I definitely love that. I appreciate you for sharing that. So, okay, one question: what do you think is the biggest community crisis that's facing the DMV right now?
I think homelessness. I think homelessness. And I'll give you an example. I'm gonna give you a crazy example. Okay, I live in Woodbridge now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's people that live in tents.
In Woodbridge.
In tents, right?
Yeah. And
then it's in a bunch of tree areas and all that. But it's behind somebody that got $500,000 home. So you got the wolves there.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the
wow.
So it's gonna be some of that, you know, somebody gonna get taken. That's just like no disrespect to nobody that's, you know, moved to DC out of gentrification and all that. I'm not saying it's right that these youngins out here robbing everything, moving and grooving. But the thing is you got the wolves and you got the sheep right by each other.
Right beside each other. It's going to spill over.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's very
and anybody that tell you crime only should exist in areas or does exist in areas where ain't no money at, bullshit. Because guess what? If a motherfucker out there gonna do a crime, he gonna do it for some money unless you playing Crash.
Yeah, I was about to say,
anything I ever done was over some money. Hell with that.
Yeah, over some money, right?
Over money.
Yeah,
you gotta be where the money is at.
Unless it's anger, like that's the only other thing. Right. The only two things I think that move people to violence, generally speaking, unless it's somebody who's mentally unwell, are anger or riches.
You got it, and that's the thing. You know what I'm saying? People, a lot of things is, man, people they don't understand and they don't see everything. They lack transparency. You understand what I'm saying? Because sometimes, you know, like they go by, you know, what something look like and all of that, or what they've been told. Nah, man, like for real, being in that Woodbridge area, it's different there.
Yeah.
And I'm glad I'm there because, you know, me and my brother always had this conversation that we had to stay where we was at. We would have been doing real good or real bad.
Yeah.
And I know some brothers that ain't make it from the neighborhood.
From doing real bad.
We live at. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that definitely tracks.
So
I want to thank you for coming out, but I want to know what a piece of advice you would like to leave with our viewers. More than anything else, you know, what makes you to the next person who wants to be you without the left turns, just make the right turns.
Hey man, all I can say is, you know, be mindful of what's going on. Understand your opportunities out here. There's certain opportunities. Realize you don't have to be in school to educate yourself. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of ways to educate, you know what I'm saying, yourself. But more than anything, I want to tell the young guys in go-go something. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I want to tell all the young dudes. I want to tell every last one of them this. If you are in your 20s and you participating in go-go, I appreciate you. But I'm going to leave you some game. Understand this. Don't feel limited because you play in the go-go genre, number one. Number two, always had an attitude. You could be the one that take go-go and establish it in a certain way. It's never been established before.
How about that?
Because if we ain't talking about a national establishment with go-go, I really don't want to talk about nothing.
Right.
You know, and that's just what it is with me.
And where can people find you if they want to follow you? Other than TikTok, where else can they find you? You
can find me on Andre Williams on Facebook.
All right. Are you on the Instagram as well?
Yeah, I'm on Instagram, but I don't really be on there like that. It's hard for me to use it.
Well, you have to get better with that because Instagram, I'm saying this to all of you all. Instagram is a marketing tool as well. So if you are marketing your business and you're using social media, you should be using all of the platforms. And that's coming from somebody who does not use X and will not.
Well, my Instagram username is Raywill 357.
Okay, Raywill 357.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So thank you all for tuning in again. Again, we're going to revisit what our Thankful Thursday thought is, and that is c'est la vie. Such is life. Hey. So things are going to be, it's going to be ups. There are going to be downs. You know, we all know sometimes you're going to be standing there and the wave is just going to come over your head. Just take yourself a moment and remember that you've literally survived 100% of your bad days. So the likelihood is you're going to survive tomorrow.
There you go. Hey, look, and I just want to give shout outs to, I got to give shout out to two people. Keyshawn and Keelani, you know what I'm saying? My niece and nephews.
Shout out Keyshawn.
You know what I'm saying? They young, they little babies. I love them. They don't even know what they did for me. And their mother, LaShawn, that's my cousin, but she more like a sister. You know, me and my cousins are like, we're like brothers and sisters, all my family.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying? And to all you dudes out there, you know what I'm saying? Don't be out here trying to be cool like Fonzie. You know what I'm saying? You trying to be cool like Fonzie, you know, but you're green and Richie Cunningham, searching for happy days from a bimbo. If she want to go, let her go. You know, tell her kick rocks with flip-flops, chick. This ain't love and hip-hop. You understand what I'm saying?
Okay, so that's our closing message for the day. We're going to go back to a message from our sponsors. Oh wait, I didn't give you all my recap from the Tampa Takeover. So we're going to do the Tampa Takeover recap. Then we're going to do another word from our sponsors, and we're going to close out. I hope you have a beautiful day. I hope you continue to be the best you can be, because there's literally nobody out here better suited for that job than you. And I'll talk to you next Thursday at 4:00.
I was in the back of the club in the VIP, hanging with some of my friends that be on TV. It was so much traffic coming your way, so I guess I'ma stay in my lane. Look, I ain't the one to gas you.
I think
when I walk through, I got sauce too. Came with the gang, chopper rain, get her up, shine. When I walk through.
So,
Hey, look, let me talk my talk. Let me speak my piece. It's for all my dogs. Coming straight off the leash. She kill them all like the Reaper. I need a girl like MEKA. She jumping out the gym on all them hoes. Shorty came straight out the bleachers. Hey, she the baddest. Hey, that girl too bad. Hey, she came through with the combo. Cause Shorty's too lavish. Hey.